These zodiac signs know the future. Have you ever caught yourself thinking that you know what will happen before it happens? That your inner voice guides you more accurately than any advice? There are people for whom this is no coincidence. Their consciousness seems to be connected to the subtle currents of the future. They sense changes in advance and see what is still hidden from others. Today I will talk about the zodiac signs that truly know the future. Their intuition is not just a feeling. It is an inner compass that guides them through the chaos of events. They see where luck will be, where danger lies, and which people are not accidental in their destiny. If you feel that you sometimes foresee what is going to happen, perhaps your sign belongs to this rare circle. Subscribe to the channel if you want to understand where your power of foresight comes from and how to use it to change your life. Stay until the end. You will find out who lives in defiance of time, who sees destiny ahead, and who, perhaps, already knows that this video was created just for them. The first sign is Scorpio. He sees what others do not notice even in bright light. Scorpio senses the direction of the future not because he seeks it, but because he lives in several time layers at once. He senses when people are lying, when the world is preparing for change, when an event is coming that no one is talking about yet. His perception is not related to mysticism. It is cold analysis, intuition honed by pain and observation. He can predict actions, reactions, falls, and rises, like a chess player who sees dozens of moves ahead. When a Scorpio says something will happen, they are not fantasizing. They have already seen the consequences within themselves. Their internal mechanism works flawlessly. Their senses collect signals, their mind connects them into a single line, and their body reacts before their thoughts have time to form into words. Scorpio doesn't ask what tomorrow will bring because he knows that every move today leaves a mark. He can read people by their gaze, as if it were an open book, sensing a chain of motives and decisions behind their facial expressions. They are not fooled by smiles or promises, because they already sense what lies behind them. They have an absolute memory of pain, and it is this that has given them the ability to sense the trajectory of events. When others are rushing between options, they have already chosen their path. They do not need confirmation. The world itself adapts to their inner conclusions. Scorpio has no fear of the unknown. He knows that behind every turn lies a repetition of old patterns. People think that the future comes suddenly, but Scorpio sees it emerging in the little things. One glance, one phone call, one word, and he already understands where the road leads. It takes him only a few seconds to figure out how a conversation will end, what a decision will lead to, how someone else's fate will change. He does not see the future, he senses it with the logic of instinct. When panic reigns around him, Scorpio remains calm. He does not lose his bearings because he is prepared for the worst in advance. He knows that everything has a price, and he pays it without fear. His strength lies in his ability to accept reality before anyone else. And that is why he is never a victim of circumstances. He creates scenarios and controls them. He can remain silent when everyone else is talking because in the silence he hears the rhythm of the future. He does not need prophecies, he himself becomes their source. His presence is alarming. People feel that they cannot lie around him. They do not understand how he knows the truth, but it is reflected in his eyes. There is no mysticism in him, only infinite attentiveness, honed to the limit. Anyone who has ever felt this gaze understands that he knows more than he says. Scorpio does not seek evidence. He collects it while others live on guesswork. He sees connections between events where others see coincidence, and therefore it seems as if he can read the future. In reality, they simply do not believe in chance. For them, everything is a consequence. If someone lies today, tomorrow they will lose trust. If someone betrays, they will pay the price. If someone makes a promise but does not keep it, balance will be restored. Scorpios do not judge, they record. His mind is a precise instrument that hones the lines of cause and effect. There are no emotions in this knowledge, only a cold-blooded awareness of patterns. He lives as if everything has already happened. because deep down, he knows that the future is not ahead, it is already unfolding within every action. And when everyone is surprised that he was right, Scorpio just looks calmly. He did not predict, he just understood earlier. The second sign is Cancer. Cancer knows the future not with his mind, but with a sense of space, as if his body is connected by invisible threads to all living things. He senses changes a few steps before they appear, like the sea senses the approach of a storm. He notices shifts in people's moods, resonance in the air, slight tension in the space, and instantly understands that something important is coming. For him, intuition is not a gift, but a natural tool for survival. He does not analyze, he lives ahead of time. His inner sensitivity is like an antenna that picks up signals of reality before they take shape as events. When Cancer feels alarm, it means that the world is already changing. His emotional depth turns into a sensory map on which he reads destinies, trends, and dangers. They can understand what will happen simply by the way a person breathes or how the atmosphere in the room has changed. They do not look for logic, it comes to them later, when everything has already happened as they sensed it would. People around them often do not notice their inner accuracy, considering it to be random coincidences. But Cancer knows, there are no coincidences, only sensitivity to the vibrations of the world. He senses changes long before they appear. Sometimes this manifests itself in small things: a sudden desire to call someone he hasn't seen in a long time, a random deviation from his route, an unwillingness to enter a room where danger lurks. His body guides him more accurately than any navigator. He can avoid trouble without realizing how he does it. His foresight works quietly but unerringly. He does not share this with others because he feels that knowing the future is a responsibility, not a privilege. Cancer is rarely wrong about people. He sees right through them, sensing the emotions beneath their masks. He understands when a person is about to leave, when a relationship is in danger, when it is time to act. His decisions are often based on feelings, but they turn out to be the right ones. He does not rely on facts. He lives with a heart that perceives the world as a whole. His empathy turns the future into a transparent mirror. He does not demonstrate this ability. He does not need recognition. He simply does what he must, following his inner impulse. When others think he is acting strangely, he already knows where it will lead. His inner map of the world is more accurate than any forecast. He senses the energetic climate around him and instantly understands when to stop and when to go all the way. Cancer does not see the future in images, he feels it with his body, skin, and breath. He only needs to look out the window to understand what the day will be like. He reads the world as a living organism that reacts to thoughts and feelings. That is why it is impossible to lie to him. Any falsehood resonates in him like a sharp noise in the silence. He senses tension instantly and takes a step aside without explaining why. Cancer knows that knowing the future is not a protection, but a test. He lives with this awareness, accepting every premonition as part of his inner journey. When changes are coming, he is ready in advance, not because he was waiting for them, but because he already felt their breath on his back. His strength is in silence, his advantage is in attentiveness. He does not seek answers, he simply feels the truth when it is near. And that is why they call him the one who knows, although he himself says, "I just hear when the future is approaching." The third sign is Virgo. Virgo knows the future through the accuracy of her observations. Her mind is able to catch the slightest shifts in patterns, predicting how they will unfold tomorrow. She does not guess, she analyzes, builds chains, puts together fragments of the world until she gets a complete picture. When others see chaos, Virgo sees a system. Her thinking is ahead of its time because she understands the logic of the world more deeply than most. Her foresight is rational. She does not feel, she calculates. Virgo is able to predict where each decision will lead because she sees the consequences at the moment of choice. She reads patterns, notices repetitions, and catches the regular rhythm of events. When she says that it is not worth going down this path, it is not fear, it is the result of accurate analysis. Her ability to see the future is based on exceptional attentiveness. One glance, one detail, one unspoken gesture, and the line of development is already formed in her mind. She can predict because she can observe. Nothing escapes her attention: words, intonations, pauses, even hand movements. Everything is information to her. She collects data intuitively, but processes it mathematically. Her mind works like a precise mechanism, where each cog is responsible for the predictability of the world. For her, the future is not a mystery, but logic perfected. Virgo can accurately predict when a project will fail, a relationship will break down, or a contract will be breached. Not because she senses it, but because she sees the system collapsing from within. Her analytical mind is ruthless but precise. She does not waste time on emotions, preferring calculation. Her strength lies in the fact that she is not distracted by desires but focuses on facts. That is why she is rarely wrong in her predictions. Virgo knows how life works. She sees patterns that others miss. For her, a person is a set of signals, habits, intonations, and choices. Everything can be read if you look closely enough. She notices how someone slightly changes their tone, how a pause appears in the conversation, and already understands that an internal decision has been made. Her observations turn chaos into clarity. People often don't understand why Virgo seems cold. She just doesn't waste words on the obvious. She knows when to speak and when to remain silent. Her foresight requires no explanation. It manifests itself in action. She is always one step ahead because she has already calculated everything. When others hope, she prepares. When others begin, she already sees the end of the road. Virgo is not mistaken in small things. For her, details are the foundation of truth. If a cup is slightly out of place, she knows that something is wrong. If a person stumbles over their words, she senses what is behind it. Her observation is ruthless, but it is precisely this that makes her someone who knows the future. Not because she has received knowledge from above, but because she can see the structure of life. For Virgo, the future is not mysticism, but geometry. And this is her strength. She does not wait for miracles, she understands patterns. And if she says that everything will change, it means that she already sees how the lines converge. For her, knowledge of the future is not a burden, but a tool. She knows because she can see what others do not want to see. The fourth sign is Aries. There are people who sense changes long before they happen. Aries is one of them. Their mind instantly grasps the essence of what is happening, and their logic works with razor-sharp precision. While others are still discussing options, they already see the result. This is not intuition in the usual sense, but rather an analytical instinct combined with an inner impulse that is never wrong. Aries is able to predict not only people's actions, but also the development of events around them. Anything related to risk, decisions, and movement is their element, in which they act flawlessly. They sense the moment of change, just as a predator senses the vibration in the air before pouncing. As soon as there is a hint of a new opportunity, Aries reacts instantly. They do not wait for circumstances to be perfect. They simply take a step because they know that this is the right time. Their perception of the future is manifested in their actions. They don't sit around wondering what will happen next. They create that next with their own hands. Such people often see the hidden intentions of those around them. Where someone says, "Everything is fine," Aries already knows that behind this phrase lies fear, uncertainty, or lies. He cannot be fooled. He does not need proof because he perceives reality more deeply than it appears on the surface. He tends to act faster than others think, and this is what creates the illusion that he knows the future. He is able to foresee how things will develop and senses the direction in which to move. In business and personal situations, this quality makes him unstoppable. He knows when to take a step back to win the fight and when the moment calls for a throw. It is this trait that sets him apart from the rest. He does not guess, he is confident. And this confidence turns assumptions into facts. Sometimes those around him do not understand where he gets his information from. But Aries does not need sources. Everything comes together naturally in his mind, as if someone invisible is giving him the answers he needs. Sometimes this happens even against his will. Thoughts flash sharply, as if someone has turned on an internal spotlight. In such moments, he may say something that later turns out to be prophetic. His ability to predict is especially evident in crises. When the world loses stability, he does not lose his way. He sees a system in the chaos and finds direction. For him, the future is not a mystery, but a structure in which he feels confident. He doesn't read signs or tell fortunes with cards. He simply sees how everything connects into a single whole. Where others wait for clues, Aries is already moving forward. He is not afraid of making mistakes because he knows that even mistakes are part of the path to the right destination. This quality makes him a dangerous rival and an invaluable ally. He has no need to prove that he is right. Life itself confirms his vision step by step. He does not live in the past and is not afraid of the future, because for him it is no longer a mystery, but a territory he has long since explored. The fifth sign is Sagittarius. There is a type of person who not only feels but understands the patterns of time. Sagittarius belongs to this group. He notices connections that others do not see and is able to trace a chain of events from the initial cause to the final result. This is his strength. He does not guess, he calculates. His mind combines observation, logic, and precision, turning chaos into a comprehensible pattern. When there is uncertainty around, Sagittarius is calm. It is as if they hear an inner signal that tells them where everything is going. This is not a mystical intuition. It is clarity of thought, trained by experience and attention to detail. They are able to predict a person's reaction, the outcome of negotiations, the turn of events, because they see the whole picture. His gaze is always further than that of others. Where those around him live in the present, Sagittarius sees the consequences. He notices that every action has a continuation and already knows what the result will be. This makes him almost infallible in his strategies. People often turn to him for advice, without even realizing that his strength lies not in words, but in his ability to see ahead. He is not surprised by change, because he expects it in advance. Even when he appears to be relaxed and not paying attention, his mind is making precise calculations. He mentally checks dozens of options and chooses the only one that will work. Sagittarius anticipates not only events but also people's emotional waves. He senses when the atmosphere changes and knows how to take advantage of the moment. His ability to recognize lies and manipulation is especially strong. He sees the inconsistency between words and actions, catches pauses, intonations, and gestures. Where others need time to understand what is happening, Sagittarius has already made a conclusion. His perception is not a premonition, but precise navigation. Sometimes those around him do not believe him because his confidence seems excessive. But time invariably confirms that he is right, and not because he is lucky, but because he sees further. He does not succumb to panic because he knows that every event is just a link in a chain, and he already has a plan for the next step. This clarity makes Sagittarius unusually strong, but also vulnerable. He often feels an overload of information, as if he knows too much. This knowledge requires discipline, otherwise it turns into anxiety. But when he knows how to maintain balance, his foresight becomes an instrument of incredible accuracy. They are able to understand the direction of fate without resorting to mysticism. All that is needed is attentiveness and logic, and this is their advantage. Sagittarius does not wait for reality to reveal itself. They simply know how it works. Therefore, for them, the future is not a mystery, but a natural continuation.